is a 15-minute meditation where we are training our executive functions brain system to move the flashlight of attention to different objects of interest. For this attention training exercise, we will use parts of our body as the objects of interest, and we will move the focus of attention systematically to these different parts. This exercise serves the dual purpose of discovering what is happening in our bodies, which provides a huge source of information, and at the same time offers us an opportunity to practice directing and moving our flashlight. If at any time this exercise starts to feel difficult or even overwhelming, then pause and simply hold your flashlight steady. You already know how to do this. Just hold your attention as you did in the steady your flashlight meditations. Hold it for as long as you need until you feel stable and steady again. If after a while you want to return to the exercise of moving your flashlight, then tune into the guidance and follow along. Or, if you prefer, you are welcome to ignore the guidance and continue to practice the steady the flashlight meditation where you just hold the flashlight until you hear the sound of the bell. This meditation can be done sitting down, and a lot of people like to do it lying down. So choosing your position and settling the body so that the body is comfortable. Checking in that the back, the hips, the legs, the arms and the hands are supported and comfortable. Closing the eyes if you wish, or unfocusing the gaze to relax the eyes. Gently beginning to focus the attention and becoming aware of the movement of the breath. Perhaps noticing the belly expanding and contracting, or the chest rising and falling. Perhaps noticing the subtle movement of air past the lips, nose, and throat. Wherever you notice this movement of the breath, placing your attention there and observing the breath coming and going. Some people like to do this meditation in stillness, moving their flashlight of attention from place to place while their body is still. Some people like to introduce some movement to help direct the flashlight of attention to that body part. It's your choice, and you can switch back and forth. It's not required to hold the body perfectly still. What is important is to hold the flashlight still and to move it to the object of interest. So holding the flashlight of attention steady on the breath for a few breaths. Continuing to hold the flashlight steady and shining that focused beam of attention, we will now begin to move the flashlight. Slowly sweeping the flashlight down the body and directing the beam of attention to one of the toes. With the flashlight of attention pointed at the toe, take note of whatever sensations are there. Is there a sensation of cold, warmth, tingling, pressure? Or perhaps there is no sensation. Simply taking note of that. Then move the flashlight to shine on the other toes. Moving the flashlight to the bottom of the foot, the top of the foot. Shining the flashlight on the entire foot. Observing sensations that you notice when you point the flashlight of attention at that area. If it helps you to move the foot or wiggle the toes to better focus attention, then move the foot or wiggle the toes and observe sensations in the foot or toes as they move. Slowly sweeping the flashlight of attention up the leg, over the lower leg, around the knee, paying attention to sensations or the absence of sensations. Noticing how sensations come and go as we pay attention to them. Moving the flashlight from the knee to the upper leg, and then the hip. Continuing to hold the flashlight steady, shine it across the body and sweep it down the other leg to the toes of the other foot, paying attention to sensations in the toes of the other foot. Moving the flashlight to the bottom of the foot, around to the top of the foot, and then shining the flashlight of attention on the entire foot. Again, if bringing in some movement helps to stabilize the attention, then move and observe the sensations related to the movement. Slowly sweeping the flashlight of attention up the leg, around the lower leg and the knee. If the attention begins to wander, whenever you notice this, simply bring the attention back to the last area of focus and continue there, holding the attention steady, moving from the knee to the upper leg and all the way up to the hip. Paying attention to sensation or the lack thereof, moment by moment. Not getting caught up with any one sensation, but simply observing sensations in the region of interest. Moving the flashlight of attention over the pelvic region, the abdomen, the lower back. Becoming aware of sensations that may arise at the surface of the skin, being aware of any sensations of contact from the floor or the chair, and being aware of sensations from deep within, from the muscles and the organs. Holding the flashlight steady at the lower torso. If at any point you feel overwhelmed or distracted, move the attention back to the breath, paying focused attention to the breath, holding the flashlight steady on the breath. And at some point choosing if you want to stay with the breath or if you would like to move the flashlight of attention back to an area of the body. Returning to the flashlight of attention at the lower torso. Moving the flashlight up the body over the front of the torso, the chest, and wrapping around to the upper back. Becoming aware of sensations that may arise at the surface of the skin, and becoming aware of sensations that arise from inside the body at the upper torso. holding the flashlight steady and moving it to one shoulder, sweeping the beam down the upper arm, around the elbow and the lower arm, over the wrist, down to the thumb, beaming the flashlight over all the fingers, the palm and the back of the hand, paying attention to sensations that are present here. Continuing to move the flashlight, streaming the beam of attention up the arm to the shoulders, across the collarbone to the other shoulder, and focusing attention at the other shoulder. With patience, exploring sensations in the other arm, slowly moving the beam of attention down the upper arm, around the elbow and lower arm, over the wrist. Shining the beam of attention on one thumb, then over the fingers one by one, across the palm and the back of the hand. Now moving the beam of attention up the arm, past the shoulder to the neck and throat. Maintaining a strong, steady beam of attention. And moving the attention to the face. Shining the beam of attention at one side of the head. Moving it to the other side of the head. Sweeping the flashlight of attention to the back of the head. And up to the top of the head. Holding attention over the entire head, aware of sensations over the entire head. Tightening the beam of attention and moving it to the place on the body where you notice the movement of the breath most clearly, and holding the attention here for a few moments. Moving the flashlight of attention to the ears and listening fully to the sound of the bell to mark the end of this meditation.